The devil is weak. Geronda. I have this thought that in our days the devil is getting more and more powerful. The devil is full of malice and hatred, but he does not have power. It is God's love that is all powerful. The devil tries to appear powerful, but he does not succeed. He puts on a show of strength, but in reality he is powerless. Many of his destructive schemes fail even before they start. Would a good father ever allow a few young hoodlums to bully his children? Geronda, demons scare me. What are you afraid of? Demons have no power. It is Christ who is all powerful. The tempter is decaying and rotten. His weapons are weak. Don't you wear a cross? Christ has armed us with his cross. It is only when we abandon our spiritual armor that the enemy can overpower us. An Orthodox priest had only to show a small cross to a man who practiced black magic, and the demon he had invoked started trembling. Why is the devil so afraid of the cross? Because when Christ suffered the spitting, the blows and the beatings, the kingdom and the authority of the devil were crushed. How wonderful is the way in which Christ defeated him. As a saint once said, the devil's dominion was crushed with a reed. The moment that Christ was given the last blow on the head with a reed, the devil's power was destroyed. In other words, patience is our spiritual defense, and humility our greatest weapon against the devil. The greatest balm that Christ's sacrifice on the cross gave us is the crushing of the devil. After the crucifixion, the devil became like a snake with no poison, like a wild dog without teeth. The poison was removed from the devil. The teeth of the dogs, the demons, were pulled and they are now disarmed, while we are armed with the cross. There is nothing, really nothing the demons can do to a creature of God, unless we give them the right. Without that right, all they do is make noise. They have no authority. Once when I was at the Callion of the Holy Cross, I kept such a wonderful vigil. That night a whole bunch of demons had gathered on the roof. At first they banged with sledgehammers, then they made all kinds of noise as if they were rolling big logs and tree stumps. I started making the sign of the cross at the ceiling, chanting, Thy cross we venerate, O Lord, and we glorify Thy holy resurrection. When I stopped, they started again. Now I said to myself, we'll have two chores, you from up there with the logs and me down here. Whenever I would start, they would get quiet. At some point I chanted, Thy cross we venerate, O Lord, and we glorify the holy resurrection. And at another point, Lord, you have given us your cross as a weapon against the devil. I spent the most delightful night in psalmody. When I would stop for a while, they would start the entertainment. Every time they put on a different performance. Didn't they leave the first time you chanted? No. As soon as I stopped, they would begin again. Both chores had to have their vigil. It was such a beautiful vigil. I chanted with such longing. Oh, those were great days. Geronda. What does the devil look like? Do you know how beautiful he is? He is something else. You only have to see him to believe it. But God's love does not allow us to see the devil. If we did, most people would die from fear. Imagine if they could see how he operates, if they could see his sweet form. There may be some, of course, who might really be entertained. I mean, entertained like the movies. But to get to see this kind of show, one must pay a lot beforehand. And even then, he may not manage to see anything. Does he have horns and a tail? Of course, he is fully equipped. Geronda. Did demons become so ugly when they fell from grace and from angels became demons? Of course. And now they look as if they have been struck by lightning. When lightning strikes a tree, doesn't it turn into a charred stump? That's what demons look like. For a while, I used to say to the devil, "Come on, by so that I can see you. It will incite me to avoid falling into your hands. One look is enough to see how evil you are. Oh, the things I would suffer if you ever got hold of me."